Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me, as always, is Ben.
Yeah.
And we're here to finish talking about Pluto.
Oh
read
my
the
God.
the second half.
Like without exaggeration, might be the best thing you've had me read.
It's
Like
that's I
I was,
agree. I think.
I was thinking about like all the stuff we've read for the podcast, and I think it takes first place. Like it's
probably my favorite comic.
yeah,
At least up there.
dude. I was reading and like 4 volumes just gone in a flash. Like, oh my God, it was so good.
It's so good.
Easily, yeah. This one's gonna be a purchase. Like, not even a question.
I remember where this volume starts. Right. We're back at the
Yeah, I suppose
transporting that guy to the safe house.
I suppose I could
Geist.
open here. Right. Yep.
So overall, though, how did it play out based on your expectations? I guess, like knowing the basic plot of what was going to happen. Having read the Astro Boy story.
I guess like pretty close. I mean, the stuff with Bora was like much different. Wasn't really expecting that direction. I mean, the vibe, the increase in, I guess,
Sure.
power.
The stakes.
Stakes. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Power
It's like
stakes.
it's not
Like-
just the most powerful robot in the world. It's also like a weapon, a bomb that's gonna blow up and end the Earth.
Yeah. So, like, wasn't quite expecting that, but was definitely expecting the stakes rise. So I thought that was a very good spin. The stuff with Pluto, I mean, expecting a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really know. I like trying to think of it. It's almost like I didn't have expectations. Like I was just
Sure.
shut my brain off, and I was just on that ride.
You were just in it for whatever they were gonna give you
I
at a
was
certain point.
I was an open door. I was that tunnel at the end of that.
Love is an open door, so
I
that checks out.
was the tunnel at the end of that Hitchcock film, and Pluto was the train. I was just there.
I love how they handle like Astro coming back
It's
in
so
this
good.
compared to
It's so
the original.
good. Dude.
Where he's the whole story of the Tenma having created the perfect AI by giving it all 8 billion,
6
remember the
billion
number.
at the time.
6 billion human, like imprinting all of those identities into it and then letting it figure it out, and it just won't wake up unless you insert a strong emotion to tilt the chaos. That idea, it's just so good.
Dude, it's
God, like even within these 4 volumes, there's so many good like little things that get set up, like the crack on the Weather Institute building,
yeah.
where the way that gets introduced is just like he's just like, it's just a weird aside, like, oh, what was I talking about? And then it's like building into part of the reveal of Bora, and at the end of volume 8 or 7, the end of volume 7, with Astro saying the world is broken,
Yeah.
and you see the crack getting bigger. Oh, that
So
shit's
good.
so good.
It's so good, dude. man, I also had uh kind of the realization that in this version, like Pluto is more kind of feels like Grendel from Beowulf, like because that dude is a lot of I don't know which volume does is it pronounced Geist? It's Geist, right? Geist.
I don't know.
I think I've been
I have
pronouncing
no
it
idea how to-
Geist. I've been pronouncing it Geist
Uh-huh.
in my head. Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually know how to pronounce it. I've never heard it said.
It looks like, yeah, I don't know. I should know, but whatever. Whenever he faces Pluto and underground, and like
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Are you crying?" And it's Pluto just like screaming. I'm like, that's some Grendel shit. That's good. That's good stuff. Like that. And I did read at the end. I assume your version has it as well, but there's that little like afterword by Takashi Nagasaki, and that was really good too. Like just reading about the comparison and how like the bad guys are bad, but like they're not pure bad. They're not just
I dropped a thing.
they're not just like
Continue, sorry.
they're not just like a stupid evil entity that's just evil all the time. Like they're evil for a reason. And like that combination of like hatred and sorrow, like Jesus Christ. Like it's just so the way it's conveyed is just so incredibly good.
Yeah. It's a cycle of hatred, just like Naruto.
Don't even fucking say that name.
Is that
in
this better? except it's done better here. But that is, look, I'm just saying, that is what Naruto does.
How dare you put that name in
a million issues?
Putting Pluto and Naruto in the same fucking sentence.
They're both manga.
Don't even start. Oh my god. They're both manga. Get out of here.
God. No, they're not. Like, Pluto is way better.
Without having seen Naruto, I would assume so.
Well,
that's my impression. Ugh.
And like for a series that's so much focused on faces, we finally get Urasawa drawing the high level like action more instead of like it's sort of being off screen, and that shit fucking rules.
Dude, it's so good. God, the shit with the entire like once Epsilon gets like heated up, it's so good. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. And just that whole
like Epsilon actually, that thing of like Epsilon has him beat because the sun has finally risen and they're up in the sky, but then like Epsilon has to fucking remove his hands to shield that kid and robot, and he has no arms.
Yeah.
And he gets his head bit off. Oh,
dude.
10 out of 10.
And fucking Pluto being like, kill me.
Yeah.
Just, oh.
Pluto, the rage and sadness monster.
God, it's just such a good fucking tapestry of like emotion and what's the word I want to say is personality, but that's not right. Emotion, something, I don't know, just like the complexity of everything.
Yeah.
Not like convoluted complexity, but like depth. There we go.
Yeah.
God, just like every single line, it shines through.
Like it's dark in that like the topics it's talking about are serious, and it's about like intense sadness, but it's like, and it's making everything darker and grittier, but it doesn't do it in a cynical way. It does it in an incredibly earnest way.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And it's like trying to get at, it's telling a fantasy story, but it's trying to get at actual real, like, human emotions, and like just explore that in a fantasy setting with robots that are very sad.
Um, Geist's death, and then Helena afterwards when she talks to Tenma, absolutely fucked me up. God. Like, just destroyed.
Yeah. When Tenma's like, it's okay if you're just pretending it, like at imitating first. Crying at first.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
my God.
Fine. Eventually he'll become real.
God, dude. Just so good.
So good. and like the way, like, Tenma's whole thing of like how fucked up he is.
Oh yeah,
that,
dude.
Like his whole emotional thing of, oh man, and the way he like the way he's like clearly reacting to feelings about Adam that he kind of didn't ever admit to himself he had before.
Mm-hmm. And even him, like the 2 points that I mean, fucking the 2 points that stood out slightly higher than the way that this entire thing stood out. When he came in and he's like, "Nah, Adam's gone. There's nothing I can do except for the stuff I'm gonna try for 18 hours straight." And he's like, and it was such a good example of, you know, we get that comment, I forget which exact people from, but just like the little technical stuff of like what he's doing, just like a few lines, and then how long he's doing it, and like this must be what it's like for a genius to work. And then those shots of him with like the visor thing on, like, so good for like, it definitely like an example of how at every turn we're given like the perfect amount of stuff, you know, like they're not,
yeah, totally,
we're not like, we didn't need 3 pages of technical details, but we needed a little bit, and we got the perfect amount for it to just feel amazing. And
totally,
so that was great. And then the other bit, there was I did get a little confused because we had like some of the time jumps, like the flashbacks, and we were hopping back and forth. I forget if it was Adam or Abdullah where he told the person like not to touch, maybe it was with Adam, not to touch not to remove the blanket because his face was going through the face of all 6 billion people.
That was with Abdullah.
Okay.
Before he put in the Abdullah memory, like before Abdullah died, he told Abdullah, the human, not to remove it.
Yeah. But then, like, so you're like, okay, like, you know, just be disconcerting, like, watching all this going. But no, then, like, the blankets are rustling. Like, that face is fucking changed. Like, don't look at that shit right now. And it's just so good. Like, and that's all we get, you know? There wasn't, like, it's not like there's some huge reveal that we see that. Like, you just get to be left with, like, how fucked up that would be to see. Oh, God, it's so good. What a fucking masterful piece of media.
Totally. And he pulled, like, he turned that Astro Boy story into this.
Yeah, dude, having read the original, like, good lord.
Like, it's good, and, like, it's all here, but there's so much more here.
It's, like, incredible.
And honestly, one of the things that really stands out is how fucking good, like, he is at making Adam seem like the best. Just like the way all those characters at the end are like, will I see you again? Because they just like the feeling of being around Adam is just great.
Yeah. Like even when he's talking to Helena and she's like, "Do you have this memory?" And he's like, "No." She's like, I know you lied, but thank you. Like, still,
I know robots can't lie, but I'm pretty sure you just lied to me, but
yeah.
thank you anyway.
Dude, oh my god, I'm still like just in awe of like that perfect blend of like the stuff that makes robots like the best robots, right? Like the hatred and being able to lie and stuff, and just how that's woven in. And oh my god, it's so good.
Like, even when he speaks to fucking Hannibal Bot.
Fucking Brow 1589.
Yeah. And even Brow is like, it's like you feel warm. Like,
Dude,
you have a heart.
Yeah.
And just like, promise me that we'll meet again. Oh.
So good. And what a good, like, I love that. I love Brow 1589. Like, it's so much, I think it's just so much more impactful. Like, obviously, it's, that's not exactly a new concept, like having that sort of character. But the fact that he's, like, all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, being able.
And also, like, this is the fucked up robot that murdered a human. But, like, as we go through this story and see what it means for a robot to, like, be able to kill a person, and it means they're, like indistinguishable from a person, basically, is, like, why that happens.
Yeah.
It's, like, it makes it brings so much out of that character, too. That, like, I don't know. The way you don't get if it's just, Hannibal Lecter. Just a serial killer.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And also just the idea of him, like, crawling around at the very... he escapes at the very end.
Yeah. So, do we... the two things that I very well might have just... It slipped my brain, like, in between reading these two halves.
Sure.
Do we know what happened to Geist and Helena's kid, like the one that he brings home? What do we?
Yeah, that guy's brother, like, had it in his, like, destroyed it, basically. He had it.
Okay.
That's why Geist killed him.
Okay.
Out of hatred.
You know what?
Because that guy killed his son, basically.
For some, obviously, because that scene where he's like, "Oh yeah, Helena, like, I can't come home. There's an emergency. Oh, okay, get me all the data. I need to fuck someone up." Like, I registered what had happened, but somehow by the time I got to the reveal of him getting the kid, I, like, didn't remember enough to connect those. I don't know. Okay,
I get it.
Yeah.
Because, like, having, like, just read it, like, yeah, they don't bring back to loop you in on it at the end.
And they don't need to.
They just reveal about that he had a son.
Yeah. No, that definitely. I mean, that's how it should be. I'm just
he bought from a junk.
Yeah, we finally
like a garbage man.
I mean, that's, dude, the stuff with, like, the robots and how, I don't know. It's such a hard thing to phrase. Like, how they're, they have rights. They're not necessarily human, but they're people, and like, how, like, okay, we have this, the general, especially, like, I mean, the general and the junk dealer, like, yeah, it's just a fucking bunch of robot bodies, whatever, melt the shit down. But, like, those are corpses, dude. Like,
and, like,
that's fucked.
Like, Geist doesn't react in the moment but that memory fucking haunts him.
Yeah.
Like, just that, like, every time we're cutting back to that, it's because, like, he can't get over it.
Yeah.
The other detail about that part that I really like, ties back into you can pretend at first with the crying with Helena and Tenma, because like that guy gets his kid like after saving this other kid and seeing that kid reunited with his parents, and he repeats the same line that one of them says to the kid after they're together, where like, we're keeping you with us forever till the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then Geist repeats that when him and Helena like are hugging the kid at the end. Just that like idea of like learning to be human through imitation till it's like the feeling, like, which then evokes the feeling, brings it out of them, whatever. They like learn about it. It's so fucking powerful. Like,
Yeah.
It's so good.
Man.
So effective.
Oh, and then the other one thing, which I don't know, maybe I forgot again, or maybe it's supposed to be just not as known. Were we told like what's up with the bear computer? Like who that is? What is it? Is it just a puppet, or was it like revealed what's going on there? Or not?
I think
not
that's
puppet,
also
puppet
Abdullah.
master. Yeah. Okay.
Like, all those robots are like his split personalities.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
Basically.
That bit I remember that he had like the split stuff.
Yeah.
But okay.
But yeah, because that's supposed to be Geist, who designed Bora, but that also is Abdullah, I think. Unless I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
Yeah. Well, there was like Abdullah designed one person and Goji designed another. Or
Yeah. Yeah, that bear is supposed to be Goji.
Okay. Right. Gotcha. Okay. I didn't put together that it was supposed to be Goji, but making that connection, like, all right, we're there.
Yeah.
Oh. This is like, I mean, honestly, we could have just made this like a 5-second episode where I just like say this is the best thing I've read and then like do the outro. God, and even like thinking back to that little, I forget if it had a name, the little robot dog that they try to save. You know, like the amount of emotion that is just pouring out of this entire thing is astounding. Like, it's fucking incredible. And like, you know, I'm pretty, you know, I allow myself to get fairly emotional while reading or watching things or whatever. It's not that hard to tide me over to whatever emotion is supposed to be felt. I mean, unless it's anime, then there's a bit of a struggle, but nah. But like the amount of times that I was like, I mean, I was like goosebumps several times while reading, like almost crying several times. Like, this was just such a powerful thing to read.
Rizzo's really fucking good. He's really great. There's a reason I'm like, yeah, he's probably the greatest living comics creator.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for more.
Well, let me tell you, he's got 2 series that are fucking great, that are really long, that I've read.
I mean, I'm down. I would maybe on a less scheduled basis, depending, but
sure,
in theory, like, I'm ready for more.
Or we could watch 70 episodes of an anime also. It's another way to take it.
You
have the option with it's true. I mean, the only reason you wouldn't do both is like they're pretty the similar. It's like the anime of Monster is very faithful. Like you don't get like the rhythms of his comic are so standout. Like it doesn't quite hit it that hard when you watch the anime.
Yeah.
But they're like using his comic like storyboards.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like fucking around. So, but there is, his drawings and his like layouts are so fucking just good. So
yeah. I don't know. I'd probably opt for I mean, just in the mood of the moment, probably more reading than watching, I guess.
sure.
But
We could do the next time when we could do 20th Century Boys. That's actually longer than Monster, but it's less like I don't know. It's less about post Cold War Europe.
yeah.
Monster does take place in like after the fall of the Soviet Union and deals with like Nazism stuff too. Whereas 20th Century Boy deals with a political leader who starts a weird cult and brainwashes the world and then ruins the world. So
Nice.
Urasawa is on the ball. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, I don't really know what else I have to say. I mean, it's hard. Like, it's still hard to. I want to say things because it still feels like I haven't said enough. It's hard to convey just how much I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Like, this would easily, I think, out of, like, if I was going to tell someone to check out something like that we've read or watched or whatever on the podcast, easily this.
Yeah.
In terms of best thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I read this. Again, I read this before without having read Astro Boy, just being aware of Astro Boy, and after I read Monster, it was just like, oh, this is like 110% my shit. Of like, God.
Man, I'm looking at
And like Pluto looks so fucking cool. I love those drawings.
Dude, it's all the design there. It's so good. I really like it.
And then like, having not read the original Astro Boy story, like I didn't really know what Pluto even was when I was reading it.
Yeah.
Other than like it's gonna be a robot, and Bora was like, I remember not having like kind of any idea where it was really going. Rereading it has been great. Like man, that thing of I can't get over the Weather Institute crack in the building. The way that whole and just that weather robot who like
Arnold.
runs that place, yeah, just looking at the crack and going, I think the world's gonna end.
Dude, and then the chairman or whoever or president is like, you gotta stop telling people that like the world's gonna end because of a crack in our basement.
You're not a specialist on earthquakes. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sick of your focus on raw data.
Dude, that line. You only focus on raw data. So good. Man. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and someone for some publication or another called Pluto flat out incredible and said it should be required reading. Like, I agree. Read this shit
Not
in
wrong.
school.
Yeah. Well, and also there's also the way it like it so easily shifts like what character we're following in this later half without without it ever feeling jarring. Like it's completely staying on point after Geist dies and we're following Epsilon, and then after Epsilon dies we switch to Adam and kind of like still following the same thread of trying to figure out this mystery.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that stands out a lot in Monster is like the way sort of episodes of arcs will start with like focusing in, particularly like in the middle of the series and later parts of like here's this new character in this new place, and like slowly it gets unraveled like how they connect to the main thread of the story. And then the main character, who's named Tenma, will show up. So that like that skill of his of managing, like just all his characters are so good. Like he's so good. Like, and they're so he's so good at instantly getting you on board with what this new character is about and who they are. And how, like, what their flaws are before, like, revealing their, like, some part of their past, their trauma, or whatever. Also, Epsilon is just fucking cool.
Epsilon is so good. Dude. What a... Like, all of that stuff was so good. Man.
Like that fucking, when he's like, they take him to that secluded place with that general, and he's like, Epsilon's like, we have to fucking get out of here, and the general's like, I'm military, and running's not an option for us.
And
like,
then his face melted,
and then it just fucking explodes. But Epsilon's like, man, they weren't even after me, they were after him.
Yeah. Dude, and when Epsilon, like, initially, it's such a, I mean, this trope, fuck, I'm such a sucker for, like, I don't even know what to call it, like, sense of overwhelming urgency and then suddenly moving fast, I guess, sudden reveal thing. Like, when he's like, oh shit, the kids. And, like, gets back, and then when he's fighting a bit, and the kids are like, there's 2 suns in the sky. Fuck. So good. Like that, just the overwhelming amount of power.
Yeah. And he fucking wins. That fight is so... Cause that part's so good because, like, you don't even see the fight, but it's just like, he actually won. He just comes back.
Yeah.
That
like,
first time.
Could have done it. 100%.
Oh, man. Just looking through here, like, right after... that first fight is the part where Uran's reading Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Like, it's a puppet. He can't find his soul. He just doesn't want to be controlled.
But
and he's not only not him, he's not the only one being controlled. Geppetto is also being controlled.
He's also a puppet.
Geppetto is a puppet just like Pinocchio.
Oh. So good. Man. All this from fucking Astro Boy.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you, like, as far as I mean adaptation, but also like a reimagined version of Astro Boy goes.
Sure.
This is a lot better than that 2006 thing I read. Like that was pretty solid.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid. I had a good time, but this is like makes that worthless.
Totally. It's like, yeah, like, I don't know. I think that movie where fucking Tenma is played by Nick Cage is like, okay. It's not this.
Yeah, it's really almost invalidates a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like how, after I watched Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, I'm not really interested in other forms of Scooby-Doo because they perfected it.
That's fair.
I don't know, like, this is Pluto is also the big thing with Pluto for me is like it's the best example to me of like the dark gritty reimagining or whatever, like taking a thing for babies, for little kids, and making it more adult. Like it's just the best example of that working, and there are so many examples of that fucking completely failing.
Yeah.
And usually it's because of being like they are cynical about it, which I would say this is not at all. Like this is a story, like there's so much more here, but it's not like you can also tell he fucking loves Astro Boy.
Yeah.
And like loves Tezuka's work. Cuz like there's some stuff in here that's pulling from stuff that's not Astro Boy, of like Tezuka's bigger ideas.
Okay.
In his hard sci-fi stuff. It's just like this is just like executed exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And in a modern way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Look, they shouldn't sell Watchmen in bookstores. They should sell Pluto. Okay?
I mean, yeah. Pretty much. No, this is like I'm looking forward to getting a few books that I can't get here when I'm in America. This is in that list easily.
I don't know. Is Pluto in print?
I don't care if it is. I'll write a blank check.
Fair enough.
Oh. Pluto manga.
Yeah, it's in print. It seems volume.
Yeah, it looks like I have to buy by the volume, which is kind of...
Yeah, there's no collection.
Kind of lame.
Like, volume 3 is, like, super unavailable on Amazon for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, even volume... Why do some of these not have prices? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like they're like $13, $14 a volume, except volume 3 like doesn't exist on Amazon. There's one copy for $200.
Well, that's how Ben spent $200 on fucking volume 3 of Pluto.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I remember going through it when I was trying to pick up Monster, which they have since put back into print.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like going on used bookstores, like looking for individual volumes, and like, okay, I can get everything but like volume 7 and volume 8, because those are like
what the
$40 or whatever.
What the fuck? Why even on I went on eBay, and freaking like volume 3 is like also pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Not all of these, I guess.
Yeah, like clearly that's just for whatever reason that's the one that's hard to find, which is weird that it's like volume 3.
Yeah. Well, okay. Oh, you know what? Still expensive because the ones that are cheap are Japanese.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, because I think those are the same edition as what I have, and it was like, I don't remember if it was new in print or like just out of print when I was picking it up with Pluto.
Yeah. I mean, I can get
20th Century Boys I picked up like when they were just putting it back into print, and I was picking it up like literally as they were releasing volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading it that way. Like Monster and Pluto, read online from scans first and then picked them up later after I'd read them.
Gotcha.
Those Pluto volumes though, they are nice manga
They
volumes.
they look solid.
Yeah. Like they're much nicer than the volumes of Monster that I have. But Monster's like 18 volumes.
Yeah.
I was I was very close to buying Monster a second time when they started putting out reprints. They were doing like they reprinted it as like 3 volumes in one. I picked up the first of those and I was like, I have to not stop. What are you doing? This isn't that much better. Hank, calm down.
Oh man, I'm like all these. My Amazon recommendations are gonna be absolutely fucked. Look at these Look at these Sailor Moon Eternal Edition volumes. Is Sailor Moon worth reading over watching? Probably yes for me.
I mean, not for me, just because of the Ikuhara stuff, and like a bunch of his episodes are filler episodes that are original to the show.
Probably gonna.
The thing I would recommend in the manga is Sailor V, which he wrote first, which is more of like a solo super heroine story.
Okay.
And then, because then that got canceled to then her launch Sailor Moon, which was like a team book from the start. And then Sailor just like reintroduces Sailor V as Sailor Venus. But like the reason Sailor Venus is kind of a nothing, is kind of the most boring of the Sailor Scouts, is because like originally she's like 2 identicals to Sailor Moon. Like her and Usagi are like kind of just the same character. The big difference be that like Sailor Venus was off on her own doing this shit as like a superhero before meeting all these other characters.
Okay.
Though like one of the things the anime changes is like it gives at the very beginning you get a bunch of solo Sailor Moon adventures in the first few episodes that are like that are also not from the manga, because the manga was specifically launched as a team book.
Gotcha. Man, I'm just down. There's such a rabbit hole. Like immediately, like
Obviously,
look, the Atena manga. Oh, too many things.
There are too many things. There are too many things. There's so much you could buy.
I mean,
There's so much.
Frankly, we could just like remove most of them, just keep the bangers, and like nothing of value was lost. Like
there are a lot of bangers.
Like we have Atena, we have Pluto, we got some other good stuff. Like why the fuck do we need to make Food Wars? We could have not done that.
Food Wars is fun until
I needed something to
it tries to be darker.
Food Wars.
You could have shit on Naruto. That would be thematic. That would be bringing it back around.
I mean, I guess. But I actually haven't seen any Naruto. I've seen at least a tiny bit of Food Wars. Enough to be turned off. Naruto is, I'll admit, Naruto, One Piece, Inuyasha, and Bleach are just my quadrilateral of blind hatred.
It's too long.
Not even too long. Like, I just, fuck those shows.
These are popular.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. I mean, partial. I suppose, like, just my experience also growing up. Like, in my little Hodunk town and surrounding areas, the few weebs that I did meet, it was always one of those fucking 4. No one was out here talking about Atena or Sailor Moon or fucking even Berserk or literally anything else. It was, oh, I watch One Piece or Naruto or whatever. Like, nothing else. No variety. So.
Inuyasha's weird just because that one's older than those other three.
Yeah, I don't. It's
by a little bit.
Probably just the coincidence, I guess. There were like a few people. Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway. Did you ever see anyone do the Naruto run in real life?
Yes, but I give that person a pass because without being mean, I legitimately think they were a product of like fetal alcohol syndrome or something. Like there was something legitimately clinically wrong with them. So I don't really count it. But yeah. I've never seen anyone deserving of ridicule do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was like someone just like, I think Naruto's so cool. I'm gonna run like that. The way that they run so that they don't have to animate arms.
I have not seen the run, but in high school, all of the foreign language classes had the opportunity to take a field trip to like a World Culture Festival in the city where I went to university. And it's like, I mean, it's nothing amazing, but it's something, get a little taste of whatever. A lot of food, a lot of souvenir sort of things, shows and whatever. Not from my school. I have no idea where from, but there was definitely a group of like, I'll put it this way, even without the headband, I would have been able to point them out as weebs, but someone was definitely there in a Sasuke? Blue coat, white pants, headband.
Yeah.
Sasuke. Definitely there in a Sasuke cosplay, and them and their little friend group were literally did not move. They did not move from like the little Japanese ramen stand, and they just sat there eating noodles and like being weebs.
Whatever. That's what they were into.
I mean,
I'm sure they had fun.
I'm sure they did, but at the time I was like, man, fuck those people. I'm 16 and I don't like it. Or 17 or whatever.
See, what you have to do is go, see, I hate those people, but I still like Naruto's okay. I hate most people who like Naruto. It's like Rick and Morty.
Right tone.
Just like Rick and Morty.
Right tone, wrong subject. I hate those people, but noodles are still pretty good.
Fair enough.
The memory quickly, the hatred quickly got overwritten at that event because later we convinced Crump to try sushi for the first time. And it was sushi from a Midwest World Culture Festival. So he threw up in like 30 seconds. So that was pretty cool. We got it on film.
Great.
I still remember that shitty little phone video. All right, Jeremy trying sushi for the first time. Let's go. He takes a little bite, he's chewing, and then just like instantly throws up.
Great.
Classic. Not
I'm
cereal.
just thinking about Hercules' fight, and then like his body gets up, like the one without a head, and jumps back in, so that he could keep fighting.
Yeah, dude.
It's just so good.
What a good.
It's just such a perfect thing.
It really is. Like honestly, I toss around 10 out of 10 a little bit to the point where it loses a bit of its meaning, but this is legitimately like a perfect thing.
Yeah. Totally. And it I don't know. It spurred me into like looking into other Tezuka stuff and like learning more about his work.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's like it's always fun when And that was what Monster was for me. Like, I read Monster, I was like, okay, what else has this guy done? Like, fucking an adaptation of Astro Boy, but it's a detective story. Fuck yes. I love anytime I find a work by a creator that's like great and inspiring, and then like look at their other work and it's also great. That's fucking that's the best.
Hell yeah.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, I think that's podcast.
Yeah.
You can email us, saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us at Salt Circle Pod on Twitter. We're on Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Salt Circle Podcast. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
Go read Pluto. It's very worth it.